Hey, yo.
Yo. Yo.
Hey,
Yeah,
yo.
buddy. Yeah, buddy.
Welcome in. Welcome in.
I didn't even notice what shirt you're wearing. I do like that.
Make them say, this ain't no P. Thank you, Rand.
This
Cut
ain't
them
no
off.
playoff
Cut them off
P.
before we get sued. Cut them off
This
before
ain't
we
no
get
playoff
sued.
P. All right.
Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll rip my headphones off there. Very special episode, as you can tell by the special color scheme going on down there. Definitely got to talk about the one thing on everyone's mind, and that is
The Falcons-Panthers game. Yes.
Tomorrow night. Okay, I'm being told that no one cares about that. Okay. So we will move on.
Okay.
And the Dodgers are World Series champions.
Yes.
Finally.
Oh, God.
Didn't know if it was going to happen in my lifetime. I mean, technically it did, but I was 2.
It did already,
exactly,
yes.
lucid in those days. But, yeah, that actually happened. Tyler?
It did.
How are you doing this evening?
It's still kind of taking in. It still kind of doesn't feel real. Like, kind of like you said, it just felt like as good as the team was year in and year out, they just couldn't get over that hump. But man, they did it. I mean, they definitely got some help. Thank you, Kevin Cash.
That was. We'll get into that. That was bizarre, but hey,
definitely got some help. But they took advantage of the help. So.
And again, the common denominator here is one Mr. Friedman, but. Dave and the Dodgers have certainly been accused of the same type of over-managing, looking at the analytics type of thing, which we'll get into all that. But this time they were on the right side of it, I guess. Couple comments here. Shout out to Bo for checking in.
Oh, good to see you, man.
Also, I saw your video of the Red Sox beating the Dodgers. But actually...
thank you to your Red Sox for that Mookie Betts guy. Appreciate that.
He's pretty good at baseball. He's pretty good at baseball. I mean, he's all right. Yeah,
he's fine.
But actually did have a chance. I know Bo had a post on Instagram earlier, too, to watch this game with my dad. It was very enjoyable. We saw the win. I don't have video of it, but it was, like I said, something I really didn't expect or at least assume would happen in my lifetime. And then also you see me and the producer T.
There you go.
Enjoying
very nice.
That.
Very nice.
I don't know, likely but unlikely outcome last night. And a couple more comments here. Cease, shout out to Cease, checking in. Let's get he wants a truck horn for the Dodgers World Series. Well, I am here to please. Let's set that off if I can find it.
Let me give you a little truck horn before we go.
Oh, let's hit it. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Shout out to Cease. Hopefully, just blew the horn somewhere out there on the highway and scared the hell out of somebody. Feel free. Feel free. Tyler is back in quarantine. Yes, he's safely in the box over here.
It's true.
Where he cannot be touched.
Right.
And well, this only applies to me. Tyler's
right.
So
I was trying to think. I think my last title was the 07 Ducks was probably the last team I rooted for that won a title.
Yeah.
I think that's Dodgers, Kings, Chargers. Yeah, that's it.
Well, the Dodgers, that's a big one. That is a big one. 32 years, the clock can now be reset.
The Gibson clock, that's right.
Gibson clock on Dodger Blues, which I saw our guy that runs did run the excellent Dodger Blues website, sort of posted I think he posted something a couple months ago, and before that he hadn't posted in like 7 years because he just stopped doing the site. But he did have a nice little post there. Highly recommended if you hit up DodgerBlues.com. That was I don't want to say the glory days. It wasn't the glory days. The glory days of Dodger fan misery. That was a go-to website.
Oh, for
some
years.
Some of the account names are just unmentionable. They should have done that to Nancy B. Whoever had that name on the forum.
Oh,
you know who I'm talking about.
No. I forgot about that.
prominent poster on that message board, but I will not speak no more. Also, shout out to Cease, as you can see down here in the corner. We have made it 30 episodes since Cease appeared on this program, so that curse is broken as well. Nick got there in time to see the end with me at JT's where we watched the game, and yes, there was a loan officer there shamelessly trying to throw his card up there. Okay, I get that. That's sort of how the business goes.
Sure.
But then had to be, and we'll start with this. One of those asterisk guys, which
Oh man,
I'm going to say this, maybe the perfect scenario for everyone. Dodger fans get their championship they've been waiting for, so close to, but haven't gotten. And all the haters can throw an asterisk on it. And the Dodger fans don't care. I don't care. Do you care?
yeah. I will just say this one thing. If you were saying asterisk from the get-go, from the preseason, fine, you've got an argument to be made there. If you were saying an asterisk, once your team got eliminated or once the Dodgers won, you can miss me with that shit. Fuck on out of here.
Agreed. And I mean, Padre fans, you're going in the right direction here, okay? It was a lot of everywhere. Like Tyler was here Saturday, and then watched the game Sunday at Saquon, and then last night at JT's, and it was a good collection of Dodger fans Saturday, thankfully, at Buffalo Wild Wings to see that ludicrous display at the end of the game. It was just a lot of people just hung up so much on.
What was Roberts thinking, bringing Jansen on at all?
Yeah, fortunately, he did not have to.
Didn't have to walk it in.
Insanity, yeah. But Padre fans, gotta get over it, man. Look, you guys are on the rise. I think ESPN, or whatever, for next season, power rankings came out, and Padres were like 3 or 4 or something like that. Although, there's a caveat to that. The Mets were in the top 10, so. Hey.
Who's making up these rankings?
I don't know.
Who are the ad wizards who came up with that one?
But to that note, I mean, then will you asterisk your first playoff appearance in however many years? Will you asterisk the likely rookie of the year in Cronenworth? I mean, it's all about perspective.
Sure.
And like I said, it was certainly an unprecedented, weird season. But with the getting so close and not just coming up short, I don't even care. I don't even care. Just give me the trophy.
Yep, exactly.
We want the piece of metal.
That's right.
This is for you. But let's take a look at last night's game. Let's just dive into it. Tyler, I know we were watching the entire thing, both of us not, in the same place, but sort of just run us through. I mean, I think the story of the whole thing, it doesn't say start and ends with, but the turning point certainly seems like it was the Blake Snell removal.
100%. Yeah, it was definitely a weird decision that obviously Kevin Cash will be questioned about possibly forever. I mean, if they never win the title, it'll be there. But Blake Snell was just absolutely rolling along. Was it 5 1/3 or 5 2/3? I can't remember. 9 strikeouts. Only gave up 2 hits. Only one of those hits really even had some good contact. And then Kevin Cash goes out there and pulls him. And Ronnie, you texted me right away. Like, you could even see Snell's reaction to that was just him screaming "fuck" on TV. Like,
yeah, we had one earlier as well that we played on here, and it feels like. Look, I said the Dodgers have been guilty of this in the past too. It is a Friedman situation. Oh, there goes the possum also that I saw earlier. Shout out to the possum, friend of the program. I have a possum that's cruising by back here.
Cherry possum?
I don't know, but just stay away from me, bro. He's chilling over there. I'll update you guys on the possum situation later. But
appreciate that.
Now I'm kind of sucked in. But anyway, this is one of those classic things. I mean, Dave's been accused of it. The Dodgers as an organization have been accused of it. Friedman is very connected in with both teams, obviously being the
Sure.
president at the Dodgers now and, formerly holding that
Previously,
job.
I mean, the
with
Dodgers
Rays.
are pretty much Tampa Bay with money, like just kind of the way that organizations are run.
Yeah.
They're the same, just one team has money, one doesn't. It's and Callan makes a great point. I did watch your show, and I most agree with him here. Is analytics are amazing and work more times than not over the course of a season because you have such a large sample size. Everything will go back to the mean. Everything will work itself out. Yeah. Postseason, man, you just gotta go with the gut. You gotta go with the hot hand. Like I fully agree with the whole, third time through the lineup, starting pitchers don't do as well. Like the numbers completely back that up. I agree with that. But like Snell was dealing. The Dodgers couldn't see him. The next three guys up were 0 for 6 with 6 strikeouts. I don't see how you pull him out. And of all, let's just even say this. Let's put the side, say, okay, you pull him out, fine. Why do you bring in the guy that has given up a run in 6 straight outings and Nick Anderson? You could bring in Castillo. You could bring in Fairbanks. All the Dodgers have, done pretty good against him. But like, bringing the guy out is bad enough, but then who you brought in afterwards? I mean, he, goes out, gives up the double to Mookie, throws a wild pitch. Then you get the, the infield fielder's choice on a play that Choi probably should. It wound up really not hurting them, as far as more than 2 runs. Choi probably should have just taken the out at first instead of trying to throw Mookie at home. You're not going to throw him out. He's too fast. He's got too good a jump. But yeah, obviously just like the analytics are not good for just kind of like a shortened, like heat of the moment thing. It's really bad. And, God bless Dave for kind of learning from that and sticking with Urias in the end. Because I said early on Callan's show, Dave of the past 100% of the time in the ninth inning goes to Kenley Jansen, like no matter what. And instead he stuck with Urias because Urias was absolutely killing it.
And
stuck with him.
Even just seeing that literally play out in front of him from the other side.
Sure.
Like, okay, this is like what it is. And I totally agree with what you said, Tyler. Baseball in the regular season, there's so many games. There is value to analytics. I mean, every team has an analytics department. Even if they're not huge on that side of it, it's a part of the game now. Just straight up Moneyball has still not ever won a World Series because there has to be some nuance to it. It's and then in a situation like an elimination game in the World Series, it's kind of like read the room. Like Snell he left that pitch up to Barnes, but he was locating. I mean, he was living on the outside edge and he was getting the calls. I mean, but it wasn't just like a wild strike zone. Like they were giving him that and he was hitting it. So the Dodgers were having a hard time even seeing that. And then he just comes with the quick hook and, the rest, as they say, is history. Another one from Callan here. Morning Show said today they wouldn't touch Trinan or Jansen with a 10-foot pole with how up and down they had been throughout the season. Yes, and there's the correction, but yes.
I might have gone with Trinan. He had a couple bad innings. He also had a couple really good innings. Trinan, I might lean on depending on the situation. Jansen, definitely not touching him at all in a close game, close situation like that.
Did not want to see that.
But, I mean, honestly, even at the time, I didn't even want him to bring in Kershaw. Obviously, that's you saw Kershaw in the bullpen kind of getting up, moving around. At that moment, obviously, yes, if Kershaw went out there and closed out, that's an amazing story. But you know what? You know what else is an amazing story? Winning your first World Series in 32 years. Ride the hot hand, go with it. Yeah.
It's not the time to pile on all the extra, happily ever afters. Of course, we have to go to the memes. This was a pretty strong one I saw last night. We're all familiar with that amazing DK Metcalf, possibly the fastest man of his size on earth. I don't know. And then this was another one I saw right before the show with Billy Martin. Of course, Earl Weaver. They got Jim Leland blazing one down in the dugout. And Tommy, which I'm happy. Look, straight up, Tyler and I are just diehard Dodger fans. We've seen it all. We've seen the worst of the worst. And now, the best. But I'm glad Tommy and especially Vin are
Vin.
still around to see this.
Mhm.
I wish nothing more than to have Vin maybe on that final call of them actually winning the World Series, but I'm glad he got to see it. So it means a lot. I mean, I didn't think for sure that this was going to happen in my lifetime, just given the history. Yes, the Dodgers do have World Series in their past, but they've lost the most World Series of any other team. So
Yep.
it's kind of our thing. But
Yeah,
winning one,
7-14 in the World Series all time.
let's go. Hey, that would win. That would win the NFC East, though.
That's a fair point. That is an absolute fair point. A 33% win percentage. You will run away with that division. But yeah, it's kind of funny, like thinking about I get it again. This keeps going back to Cash just because that was such a huge momentum swing at the time. That there is some sort of a balance between that old school, like, ride your starting pitcher until there's no, there is that fine line between, Zimmer leaving out a Pedro for too long, and then, kind of the modern pitcher pulling your pitcher too fast. It's just
Dusty
just gotta
Baker leaving everyone out there to throw 100,000
well,
pitches.
that's just his thing. There just is some balance, and it's just, again, in the postseason, man, it's too small a sample size for analytics to really kick in. You just gotta say, this is the Hawkeye. Like Jock Peterson, I would have loved to see him get more at bats just because in the postseason he was batting just under 400. Like, I would not have mind, maybe seeing him get some more reps instead of Pollock. I mean,
His entire postseason career, he's been a pretty good postseason player. This year, he wasn't very good in the regular season. He's very streaky, strikes out a lot, has home run power, but I mean, really didn't have a good year. But it's kind of one of those things. Like, baseball is so weird because the regular season is so long. It is the ultimate numbers game, hence analytics. But when you distill it down to a very, very micro version of that, you gotta, like I said, you gotta read the room. You gotta just have more of a feeling of what's going on. Like, this guy's strong right now. I'm gonna go against the book right now. Like, this guy will keep us rolling, and it came back to bite him.
Yeah, but Duke obviously want to give shout outs to certain players. Of course, the World Series MVP Corey Seager throughout the World Series. 400
Go get your money, Corey.
Exactly, definitely pay that man. 400 batting average, 556 on base percentage, 700 slugging, 2 homers, 5 RBI. Even just throughout the whole postseason, he had 8 home runs and 20 RBI. Just absolutely kind of carrying that offense from that number 2 hole. Got to give it number 2 hole. Got to give a shout out to Julio Urias as well. I mean, if Seager was going to get the MVP, I would have loved if Urias got it. World Series, 2 games. One of those was a start, one was a save. 2.57 ERA, 13 strikeouts in 7 innings pitched, 0.71 WHIP. Throughout the whole postseason, he was 4-0. 23 innings pitched with a 1.17 ERA, 29 strikeouts and a 0.65 WHIP. That dude was just absolutely unbelievable.
Just locked in.
Yeah, I mean, and whether you started him or whether you had him come out of the bullpen, he was just dealing. So, massive shout out to him. Of course, you got to give a shout out. I mean, it's funny. Last night, hey, I'll fully admit, I cried when they won it. After I kind of calmed myself down, I was watching the post game show and they showed Kershaw on the last out coming onto the field. I started crying again because fucking hell, like Kershaw of all people, you want that guy to. There we go, beautiful.
You got it.
You want that guy to get the thing that's been eluding him, but he had a great World Series. 2-0, 11.2 innings pitched, 14 strikeouts, a 0.86 WHIP. Just kind of, you can't fully say exercise those demons because there will still always be people, bringing up stuff, but definitely kind of, now you can just always say, hey, say whatever you want about the guy, kiss the ring. You know what I mean?
Cross that one off. He was already first ballot Hall of Fame anyway.
Oh, easy.
And the numbers are still out there as far as his just overall postseason career. There's no changing that, but I'm glad that he doesn't have to worry about that being like the Charles Barkley thing. Like, well, but he never won the big one. You know what I mean?
So what's this question that Callan has for us here? I see we got a
Snell being pulled early in playoff games this season doesn't create a rift between him and the Rays organization. Hard not to think that it doesn't. I
Yeah.
mean, Snell was already kind of not wanting to come back and play anyway. We saw, the clip that if I get the Rona,
Yeah.
then he had on his. By the way, stay tuned on his Twitch streams. Anyone
Oh,
that's
yeah.
out there on Twitch, because it
Oh,
might
yeah.
get active. this
It'll get
offseason.
real. It'll get real.
Yeah, if he starts answering questions, look out. But he's locked up over there. But I'd be pretty pissed too. It's more like, am I one of your best players, or am I just like another pawn on the analytics sheet, like that I just get moved out because the numbers say, like, even though the situation very much dictates that I stay in the game, like, are we just going to play it that way every time?
Yeah, that is kind of interesting because, like, you got to think as a player, you obviously you want to stay out there, especially for dealing like that. But you also got to think like, I'm on the Rays. Like, the Rays are like the ultimate. Like, we don't go by feel, we go by the analytics, we go by stats. So like, in one sense, I fully understand being mad, but at the same time, it's kind of like, well, like that just is the thing of the team, though. So like,
yeah,
I mean, obviously he has a right to be upset. He should be upset. The whole team should be upset. But it's also like, this is what you guys do. Like, this is your thing. So I mean, I don't know. It'll be weird.
Maybe 5 years from now, when he's won 3 rings with the Yankees, he'll look back
True.
and laugh.
True.
This. But I'm sure he's pretty pissed right now, and I would totally agree with him.
Speaking of other guys that kind of obviously balled out for them, fucking Randy Arozarena. That I still don't know how that was a home run yesterday.
That was insane. Yeah,
pitch out.
That was not even a bad pitch at all.
A breaking pitch outside of the zone. He does a contact swing, hits it the other way, and that ball just carried and carried. It's like that made zero sense to me. But he's been crushing it all postseason. I mean, most hits in a postseason, 10 home runs, 14 RBI, slugging .831 throughout the playoffs. Like
10 home runs, even with the extra games. That's absurd.
It's insane. Yeah, it's absurd. And so he's definitely a guy that kind of made a name for himself. And whenever his free agency comes up, I don't know what his contract.
They've got probably 3 or 4 more years of team control.
Right. Yeah, they'll have him for arbitration for up until his 6th year in the league. So, but he'll make. He's going to make money off of this. He's going to say, hell, I'm the only guy on this team that could hit in the postseason. Pay me.
Yeah. So maybe when, like I said, him and Snell are chilling on the Yankees with that victory cigar.
Yeah.
They'll look back and laugh, but so definitely a bitter taste. The other weird thing, I mean, we do have to talk about it. We're running out of time, but obviously the Justin Turner saga that went on. He tested positive. He had a false positive or inconclusive test during the day, which the whole thing, like, yes, he was back on the field, and we all saw the photo with him with the team with the mask off. Not a great look by any stretch of the imagination.
No, not at all.
I don't even know how he got out there with the MLB security. But on the other hand, I mean, if MLB was just hard and fast on this, like, look what happened to the Padres even earlier this year when the Giants came, and then they didn't play the game because I think it was Dickerson had an inconclusive test during the day. They didn't even play the game. So yes, it's the World Series, but it's like you can't have it both ways. Like, they go ahead and play the game. Justin Turner starts the game, then gets removed when they comes back as an actual positive test. And then the whole, shit show fallout afterwards of him being back on the field. Manfred's pissed. Again, just can't never look like a jackass. I mean, it's always a good time to roll this out. Another one for Big Rob. But
yeah,
like I said, Turner is certainly at fault for just
100%.
going out there. Like, I get it, you want to be around your team, but this whole thing has been in this bubble. Like, that's the only way that was going to work as far as the playoffs. Makes it even more confusing as to how he got it. But Manfred, like, if you're going to be hard and fast, maybe don't play the game. Like, maybe just, hey, we're going to have to push it to tomorrow. We got to test these guys, see what's really going on.
Or if it's an inconclusive, just tell them from the bat, like, you're not going to start this game until we figure out what's going on here. Like, I will not defend Turner in any sense. Like the whole thing has been about, obviously keeping yourself and your teammates safe.
Right.
If you got a positive test and you still went out on the field, no matter, like, that's shitty. I will not defend that at all. But I'm also just like you, like MLB, like if he had this inconclusive test, tell the Dodgers he can't start the game until we know something. Like, it's kind of everybody fucked up here.
Hypotheticals. For one, what if he actually hits that home run? He was
it's pretty close. It was close.
He was close to potentially winning MVP of the series.
Sure.
So that would have got really complicated if that happened. And two, what if the Rays won? I doubt.
Yeah. Now what do you do for the Game 7
today?
Yeah.
Like, what do you like? All right, we'll see you in 2 weeks for Game 7.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was just like it was a fucked situation on so many parts. Again, Turner, like, look, I get it. You want to celebrate. You've been working your whole damn career for this, but, like, fucking come on. Like, you have a positive test. You've
time
got
and a place, bud. Time and a place.
Kinley has a known heart condition. He had the Rona already. You can get it again. We know this. Doc has had, cancer in the past.
Cancer.
He's got an issue with his immune system. Like, come on, dude. Like, I get it. You want to celebrate. I totally get it. But when you got the positive, man, you got to stay back. Like,
just sit this one out. We will celebrate.
Yeah.
We will celebrate. But just, very weird.
But, I mean,
weird ending.
But as far as we know, all the Dodgers took a test last night. I believe Turner and his wife are still back in Arlington, but the Dodgers were everybody else tested negative. Although we'll see how that works out in 5 days. But they all got on a plane. They flew home right at Dodger Stadium, so now they're all back and can go
And
on
I
their
think
way.
the last I saw too, I mean, obviously all the Rays players got tested as well.
Yes.
I think there was maybe a Rays family member that was the only positive out of that.
Okay.
So unlikely that they would have been in contact with Justin Turner, but obviously baseball was trying to figure all that out before they just let people fly back.
Right.
So hoping for the best that this wasn't some kind of like super spreader, just outbreak there in the bubble, but definitely a weird, note on this already extremely weird season. But we are up against time, and I do want to give a shout out to Auntie Bev. I think she has a Halloween episode coming up.
Nice.
So thank you guys for tuning in. I and Tyler are overjoyed that the Dodgers finally got it done.
Yep.
Tyler, give you the last word here before we get out of here.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Stick around. Like Ronnie said, we got Auntie Bev coming up next year. Thank you so much for watching. We love you guys. You know the drill as always. Keep the fire.
Keep the fire. Let's go, Dodgers.
At the buzzer, it's good!